Hello, I'm Morgan Grayce Willow. My first poem in the collection is a response to James Wright's poem, the Minneapolis poem. He was not happy in Minneapolis. It turned out he was actually living only blocks from where I'm sitting here on East Hennepin Avenue. On behalf of Minneapolis, to James Wright, formerly residing at 2414 Como Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota. How many have lived here since you made your famous declaration, then retired to your makeshift basement study to write your last poem before giving it up altogether? I drive by this house where you once lived and think of ponies, how they saved you, how they saved me another day while driving to Rochester to see my dying mother. Your poem, the blessing she would never give. Minneapolis was not kind to you, except for buddies at the East Hennepin or one of the Seven Corners bars, who shared in your cups and stories, your recitations of Chaucer, Dickens, Hardy, belted out till closing time. And as night for poetry, the motto blazoned on your standard might have been furious revision. Long hours riding Greyhound out to Madison and Bly's chicken coop, days of battle over the lives for poems intended for pages of the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Like your colleague Berryman, you considered the river, but persisted in spite of yourself. You survived many griefs, got mostly sober, though cigarettes would be your downfall. The cancer under your tongue, shutting down your voice as even you couldn't that day in the basement on Como Avenue. On behalf of Minneapolis, I apologize and thank you for the fierceness that drove you, the spite. Rivers that have known you, Ohio, Mississippi, Italy's Adige, flow still, as do your words. My second poem is a cento. It's made up entirely of lines from James Wright's poems, his early poems, as they appeared in Naked Poetry in 1969. The Old Loneliness. I must have looked a long time down the cornrows inside the dream. Whatever it was I lost was a wild, gentle thing. I dreamed on. The cold bangles of the moon grazed one of my shoulders. A parade of old women sang softly above me, leading a blind horse of gentleness. It is the sinking of things, a scrambling sack of oblivions and lame prayers. The moon strides behind me, swinging the scimitar of divinity. I carry the sliver of a white city, the barb of a jewel in my left clavicle. It is the old loneliness, that black ditch of river. Where is the sea that once solved the whole loneliness of the Midwest?